Hi, the present video corresponds to the Chase Manhattan Bank case study, elaborated by a SPOS student of the Operation Research. The group members are Victor Acosta, Jose Aguirre, Ingrid Arteaga, Pedro Brito, and Genesis Soto. The Chase Manhattan Bank is a banking institution created in New York in 1955 by Aaron Burr, who radically transformed the institution formerly denominated Bank of the Company of Manhattan, and the merger with the Bank National case began to take that name. Chase Manhattan Bank is facing employee scheduling problem due to insufficient manpower in peak hours of the operation. To meet the requirements of having sufficient personnel in every hour the most cost-effective way, it is required to have some part-time personnel in different hours as per demand. There is another option to have overtime. There are some data with constraints given in the case study, based on which we have to find the best labor schedule with the minimum cost.
Well, I'm going to explain the exercise Chase Manhattan Bank in New York. So this is the part of the exercise that you can pause the video and read slowly for your better comprehension. This is the continuation, and the bank goal is to achieve the minimum possible cost of persons subject to meeting at setting our first requirements, as well as all recision and work given before. Option function is efficient use of the varied resource that minimizes costs. Finding out optimal work schedule to meet staffing requirements. This path is the period and employer's number that the exercise mentions until us. A full-time worker 15 take lunch between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. and remain 15 do so between 12 and 1 p.m. We corporate policies the work of part-time staff are limited to maximum 14 of the total day requirement. That is the in person. Full-time employer work 8 hours, 1 hour for lunch included, per day. So the product time of full-time work is 35 hours per week. The product time of a full-time worker is 35 hours per week. Part-time worker at least 4 hours a day, but less than or less 4 hours. No rest of the lunch. A full-time worker 15 take lunch between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. and the remaining 15 do so between 12 and 1 p.m. The shift start at 9 a.m. and ends 7 p.m. Extra time is limited to 2 hours. Employee cannot work more than 5 hours extra time per week. The cost of this period with these employer numbers is the average hourly cost an employee is $10 with 11 cents, and the average overtime cost for full-time worker is $8 with 8 cents, and the average cost of part-time staff is $7 with 82 cents.
This very advanced and challenging scheduling problem can be solved most expeditiously using linear programming. We will denote F as the number of full-time employees. Some number, like F1, of them will work 1 hour of overtime between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day, and some number F2 of the full-time employees will work overtime between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. There will be 7 sets of part-time employees. PJ will be the number of part-time employees who begin their workday at hour J, for example 1, 2, 3 until 7, with P1 being the number of workers beginning at 9 a.m. and P2 at 10 a.m. like is here in the screen. We will denotate P1 until P7 with all the scheduled hours. Note that because part-time employees must work at minimum of 4 hours, none can start after 3 p.m. That's what we have here. Since the entire operation ends at 7 p.m., similarly, some number of part-time employees, QJ, will leave at the end of the hour. With all these restrictions that we have here, we can start our linear programming. Here are all the restrictions that we will need. The workforce requirements for the first 2 hours, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. are F plus P1 must be greater equal 14, and F plus P1 and P2 must be greater than and equal than 25. At 11 a.m. half of the full-time employees go to lunch. The remaining half go at noon. For those hours, we have the next restrictions. Point 5 F plus P1 and P2 and P3 must be greater than 26, and the same here is point 5 F plus P1 and P2, P3 and P4 must be greater than 38. The next restrictions are F plus P1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus Q4 must be greater than 55. The next one is F plus P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus Q4, Q5 must be greater and equal than 60. F plus P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 minus Q4, 5 and 6 must be greater than 51. F plus P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minus Q4, 5, 6 and 7 must be greater than 29. For the last two restrictions, we have 2 overtime hours, and these restrictions go. The first one is F1 plus P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minus Q4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 must be greater than 14. And the last one is F2 plus P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minus Q4, Q5, Q6, Q7, 8 and 9 must be greater than 9.
Hi, I will continue with the explanation about constraints in the Chase Manhattan Bank case. If the left-hand side of these 10 constraints are added, one finds that 7 hours of full-time labor are used in straight time. F1 plus F2 full-time labor hours are used and paid at overtime rates, and the total number of part-time hours is, let me see, okay. The total number of part-time hours is this: 10p1 plus 9p2 plus 8p3 plus 7p4 plus 6p5 plus 5p6 plus 4p7 minus 6q4 minus 5q5 minus 4q6 minus 3q7 minus 2q8 minus q9 less equal 128.4, well, which is 40% of the day's total requirement of 321 person hours. This is also leads to the objective function. The total daily labor cost which must be minimized is, okay. see the objective function, and as you say, the terms, and and result the objective function. Okay. The other constraints are f1 plus f2 less less equal f. Okay. This total overtime employee is restricted to 5 hours or less, an average of 1 hour or less per day per employee. This, the number of overtime hours worked per day cannot exceed the number of full-time employees. Okay? Next, since part-time employees must work at least 4 hours per day. See? Okay? Next, for those leaving at the end of the 4 hour, at the end of the 5th hour, those leaving must be drawn from the P1 minus Q4 remain plus the P2 then agreed at the start of the 2nd hour. Okay, see Q5 with the restriction. Similarly for the remainder of the day, Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9. Okay. To ensure of all part-times who began at 9 a.m. do not work more than 7 hours. Okay. See this constraint. Q4 plus Q5 plus Q6 plus Q7 less equal P1. Okay, similarly with these two constraints, Q4 plus Q5 plus Q6 plus Q7 plus Q8 less equal P1 plus P2. Now, I'll show you the exercise solved in Excel. Let me see. Okay. This is the exercise solved in Excel. Full-time, number of employees, full-time employees, overtime for the full-time employees 5 and 6 p.m. Full-time employees, overtime 6 to 7 p.m. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7. The hours are 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Okay? And the leave of the employee hours are 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. This is the leave of the employees in the work. Okay. The costs are established with the function objective. This is the values of the cost, the objective function. Okay. The constraints are here. The 9 a.m., 10 a.m. needs this quantity of employees. The same with the other period hours. Okay. And I show you the exercise solved with solver. First, establish the objective, set objective. Okay, the parameters, the solver parameters, and the function are minimized put min, and the changing variable sales. This is the change variable sales. This this date, these values they are not in the exercise. I find these values. Okay. What? Subject to the constraints. What constraints? And this constraint. I use this function for, okay, let me see, okay. Well, okay. I use this function, some products that are cell size 31 cell. The same with the other distinction. Okay, now I put the other distinctions that I present. All these distinctions. Okay, let me see, put other distinctions. Minus 1 full time, minus plus 1 overtime, full time, 1 overtime, full time. This is the first direct constraint. The same with the other constraint. Now, I use the same function en suma producto. And finally, with solver, I choose subject to the constraint. Okay. The solver solve all the exercise. Okay, this is all.
Through the application of solver, it has been obtained as conclusion that the total of full-time staff for the hour from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. is 29 workers of full-time. From 10 to 11 is same, 29 workers. From 11 to 12 is 14.5, but in this case also will be required 12 workers part-time, which gives a total of 26.5 for this actual. From 12 to 1 p.m. is 14.5, but in this case also will be required 12 part-time workers of B3 and 12 of B4, which gives a total of 38.5 for this skill. So we can see that the total number of workers per period of time who need to minimize cost are this. The total minimum cost is 3,460.90. Minimum cost actual is given below. The limitation of the model used to answer question number 1 are: part-timers must be less than 40% of the total workforce. Full-timers are allowed to work 8 hours, including 1 hour lunch time. and the part-timers work at least 4 hours and maximum 7 hours without any lunch break. 50% full-timers go to lunch in the period of 11 to 12 a.m. and 12 to 1 p.m. Every full-timers may have 2 hours overtime per day and 5 hours per week if necessary. And if we will change the value 40% hires for part-timer, it will have significant impact on the solution that we have found. And yes, because if we can have more than 40% part-timers of total required personnel, number of full-timers will be less than what we found F equally 30, which will reduce the cost significantly. Part-timers cost less than full-timers. Other issue is that we have full-timers more than our requirement in some periods. This could be minimized if we could consider higher percentage of part-timers that would result in low numbers of full-timers. And the recommendations. The resulting program has 16 integer variables and 22 constraints. If integer programming software is only available, the linear programming problem can be solved and the solution round, making certain that none of the constraints have been violated. Note that the integer programming solution might also need to be adjusted. If f is an odd integer, through that 5f will not be an integer, and the requirement that half of the full-time employees go to lunch at 11 a.m. and the other half at noon will have to be altered by assigning the extra employee to the appropriate hours. Thank you.